Good morning, the COT data video for the week beginning the 24th of July 2023. We can see a big pump on the Euro FX contracts. Huge 140 to 178, which is huge. So we have to remember we've got the Fed interest rate decision on Wednesday and we've got the ECB interest rate decision on Thursday. So this is obviously slightly delayed because this is from Tuesday prior. Okay, so it's from here. Okay, so obviously things have developed and materialized and evolved since. We saw a little bit of a dollar strength resurging after. So we'll just have to see how we go. We can just only simply use the data from Tuesday, and that's what we're allowed to see. We're not allowed to see updated data because that's the nature of the COT report. It's delayed. So going by this, we should see euro strength, and we should see a little tiny tick down of dollar weakness. But I think what will happen as we go into the Fed interest rate decision on Wednesday, the US yields are going to rise because of the uncertainty, and from that the USD, the United States dollar, is also going to rise as well, and possibly dump on Wednesday at the interest rate decision and also the press conference as well. We have to remember Powell will be speaking, and so we might see a little bit of a dollar strength going into it, and then a little bit of weakness at the at the press conference. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But going by this, we should see some strength on the euro and a little bit of weakness on the USD. So it's a bit of a tricky week really for this particular currency pair because we've got two central bank risk events in like 24 hours, Wednesday and then Thursday. So let's see how we go. Let's have a look at the yen. I think we've got a BOJ as well. I'm pretty sure we've got BOJ. So we ticked higher. We stopped its free fall, and so we had that support 111, 110, 102. Yeah, we did. We did. So those supports held, which is good for the yen because we were getting a little bit scary, a little bit like it was really going to dump. And we've got these supports now. Still obviously very negative, but we're less negative. We're going towards zero. So we can take the euro off. Remember that it pumped a lot, which is quite a bit of a surprise. But I mean, obviously, perhaps looking at it from a central bank perspective, the ECB are going to be more aggressive on the on the interest rate path than the Fed. So there is that logic. Perhaps they're envisioning like a hawkish ECB, maybe. Let's take the euro off. Aussie down 45,000 to 50,000. So it's obviously below zero, and we're further away from zero, as you can see. So interesting. Aussie off. Pound was pumping. Oops. And it's continued to pump. 50,000, 58, 63. Wow. So it's very strong. So remember the thing about the BOE is that they're quite aggressive, and this doesn't take into account the inflation data that we had on Wednesday because this is from Tuesday, and the inflation data came down. So it means that the BOE are going to be less aggressive. So I think on Friday when this COT data is released, we're going to see this tick down. But we are still strong, though, we have to remember. I think this should tick down because the weaker than expected inflation data should mean that the BOE are going to be a little bit more softer on their approach. And this was the 50 basis point hike move on the pound. So be careful, especially the pound. You know what that's like. It's quite volatile. CAD on. CAD like it down. Are we going to be above zero? Just about. So, I mean, this is a clear downtrend. Does that buck the trend? You could probably argue we might be just be going sideways potentially. So keep an eye on this low here. It kind of coincided with that high. So we might come to it. It might come to it and then bounce high. And if we do, we're going to get a dollar CAD trade opportunity. We'll get the crossover. CAD off. And then gold. We sort of fell a little bit. And obviously, remember, this is from Tuesday. So we went from 165,000 to 193,000. So that's a big increase. So I think we're probably seeing a little bit of discrepancy, some stuff that have happened since Tuesday, and it might just be slightly delayed there because the gold fell quite a bit as per our analysis in Discord. So hopefully you guys caught that. There was a nice profit to be made on the shorts, and I myself made quite a bit of money this week on selling gold. So just goes to show you've got to be a little bit careful because remember this is very much delayed, but it does tell us bank positioning over time, and we'll just have to wait for Friday to see the data from Tuesday, basically. So it's like a caveat. Gold off. So yeah, and also it will depend on the retail sentiment as well, because the retail herd were going long. Because they went long, we fell quite a little bit. Swiss franc on, probably sideways. Yeah, just sideways consolidating, and yes, we just tick down, and we're probably going to be pretty range bound on the Swiss franc. Swiss off, and then Kiwi on, and then we're done. And then the Kiwi is pretty similar. We did attempt to break that range, but then we just came back in, and currently negative. So that's it. So remember, we've got a very bumpy week ahead. The robot has been performing very well, but it doesn't tend to do very well when we have central bank risk events. So if we have a negative week on the robot, it could just be the volatility from that, and there's a swift, sudden repositioning from the banks, and sometimes the retail herd can be correct on their bias because there's a sudden change after the risk events, basically. So if we have a negative week on the robot, it might be worth thinking about having some kind of filter on it so we avoid these these central bank stuff. So we'll have to see how we go. We're doing very well on the robot, and the Discord analysis is going pretty well. Good if you caught gold. I'm not sure if anyone did. I know one guy did. We made some money on that, so that was cool. And I wish you a good weekend and enjoy your day. And I'll be back tomorrow for the bulletin. So just trade safely and you should be fine.